I haven't done one of these in a while. Oh man. So I decided to just do a little live video here, which I don't normally do, but I really need to start doing more of these. I feel like it's a good way to connect with my audience. I know it probably ain't no one right now on to watch or to interact, but yeah, here I am because I got a couple things on my mind I want to share, and I thought this would be a different format to do so. Anywho, so until someone comes on and actually decides to join the chat, I'm just gonna at least talk about how the car is doing. Hey, who finally joined the chat? Finally, someone's watching the video. How nice. Yo, what's up, man? How's it going? It's weird seeing me do a live video, ain't it? That's good. Oh, so just kind of wanted to do a live video here, something different. I don't normally do. I got to start doing more of these. I really do. I think it's a good way to connect with everyone. I don't even know half of the people who even follow me are like available right now. Lost me. Where'd I go? Am I back? Can you see me? See, this is why I hate live streaming. This is exactly why I don't like it. I gotta get better at this. Anywho, good? You back? I'm back? Cool. Cool. Okay, good. Okay, yeah. Cell service is a little iffy in this area. Anywho, just want to make the video here, talk about a few things, something, a couple things on my mind. Car's running good. I got a video coming out tonight. I meant to upload it last night. Well, I did upload it last night, but my upload speeds on the internet are so bad. I mean, terrible during like the nighttime. So it literally took all night to upload the video, albeit it was a long video. It took forever. So that will be available tonight. That's gonna be a fun one. Some nice custom work here on the car. So that'd be cool to watch. And yeah, car's running good. I guess there will be an update once that video comes out, and I'll update on everyone on that. Lombarski, bro, you left me. All right, well, that ain't nothing important. You'll see. So moving on. Oh, you're back. Yeah, it's good. It's good, man. Like it's doing good. Like, I'm still not babying it. I'm having more fun with it, but I'm still being very cautious. Very, very cautious. Because I'm not sure. I really like every time I get in the boost, it's like, is it going to be the last time I get in the boost or what's going on? But it's been good. Like, it's still fine. I have to like make sure I have adequate octane in the car. Like I'm usually running, for me to feel comfortable going wide open throttle, I have to have some E85 in the tank, like a good blend of it too, because this car just runs a hell of a lot better, even though it's not tuned for E85. Just having 4 or 5 gallons of E85 to a full tank of 93 makes all the difference in how this car runs. Believe it or not, it just runs smoother. It runs stronger. It doesn't feel like it hesitates, which I'm just assuming that's because it's, not, it's suppressing any potential detonation, even minor detonation that would just cause some other small drivability issues. So like everything I'm literally doing to this car now is just to mitigate detonation. That I don't want no more. I don't even want to, I heard it too many times. I don't want to hear it no more. And, because it was probably a good contributing factor to the old engine, I ain't trying to do that again. So like literally everything I'm doing going forward, including the mods that I've done to the car in the video you'll see tonight, is all to mitigate detonation. That's some scary stuff. You go through that one or two times, you learn what not to do. Like I'm about to start running straight freaking race gas in this thing. I don't I don't want to deal with it. I don't even want to have to worry about hearing or seeing detonation or anything. So actually, fun fact, I just now realized that you can actually go, and I'm sure there are other states you can do it. I know you can go to certain gas stations, but in Florida, there's a few select Sunoco's and I think some other, brands of gas stations. But I know for a fact Sunoco, you can literally go and they have pumps specifically for one of their race gas, like 100, I think it's 104 octane. Probably freaking $8-10 a gallon, but you can get it right at the pump. So I was going to make a video about that sometime along the way, just kind of going and checking that out, because I didn't even know that until recently. I didn't know you could literally go and get pump race gas. It's a... Sorry, I keep losing connection. I'm not sure why that is. Like I said, cell signal is iffy. I'm looking. I got 4G. I should be getting 5G. I'm not sure why it's only getting 4G, so... this is why I don't do live streams. This is exactly why. If I was home, maybe it'd be a little bit better, maybe, but this is why. I'm just gonna keep talking. You can always come back to the video and review it, but thanks for keeping me updated on the connection. Yeah, so I might go make a video on finding these Sunoco's, or at least one of them, with race gas and putting it in the Mustang and see what happens. I mean, nothing should happen. It's oxygenated race gas. So theoretically, I should be able to run that straight and still retain better air fuel than just running like an E30, E40 blend with ethanol untuned. Like the car should definitely handle that better. But I ain't trying to spend, $8-9 on freaking a gallon on race gas all the time. But it's still kind of be a fun video to check it out and see what it does, assuming that that station still sells race gas from the pump. So, but yeah, there will definitely be a more future-proofed solution going forward to adding, making sure that the engine always has adequate octane. It's going to be an aux fueling setup. Hey, Pink's Garage. Yeah, I mean, I run E85 too. Like I was just saying here just before you popped on. I don't know if you heard it or not, but I usually run an E30, E40 blend untuned, and it makes a big difference. It really does. The car still has enough fuel system to run that much E85 and retain a safe air fuel ratio. And yeah, the car just runs a hell of a lot better with that much ethanol in the tank, and it's probably just because of the octane. So, but it's not always easy to find decent E85. Some stations are better than other. Can't run E85 myself. Why not? Is the stock ZL1 fuel pumps kind of maxed out? Is that why? I mean, I'd probably... Pink's Garage, I bet it does. Plan on doing that in my Focus ST when I get it running again. Yeah, I mean, it's not flex fuel. Well, neither is this. This ain't flex fuel. I make it flex fuel. I'm not sure if Chevy, the GM, I don't know if their ECUs adapt the same as the Fords do. I would imagine it's similar, perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. I just know the Ford ECUs are very adaptive, with the wideband O2, so they can adjust plus or minus 30% for fueling on a factory calibration. That's pretty cool about these ECUs. One of the cool things about the Fords. So I thought the Chevys and GMs were probably the same, since it seems they kind of share a lot of the same technology with Ford, but I don't think it would run right. Didn't think it would run right without having a GM flex fuel option. Well, look, I ain't a tuner and I ain't telling you to go do it, but I'm just saying in my experience, I've ran, like in the SHO, I couldn't do it. I can only run like no more than an E30 blend before it would go lean. I would watch fuel pressure get very dangerously low, and it would go lean. But on this car, it's a whole different story. Pink's Garage, I need to add flex fuel gauge to both my cars. Yeah, eventually I do. If I'm gonna plan on running more consistent, yeah, I don't blame you. I'm not gonna try with the supercharger. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You got plenty of power as it is anyway. Um, in the future, I do, since I probably will run, I would love just to run straight E85, but doing it right with a flex fuel sensor and being able to adjust for it and all that one day, someday. But the more the solution I have that's probably going to come before that to run more octane is water meth injection. And actually they have better solutions now where it's kind of like a blend of water and not methanol but ethanol. So it's a water ethanol blend that you can use, and it's not as corrosive and whatnot as the methanol, and not nearly as dangerous, because methanol is some dangerous stuff because it's highly flammable, and it burns very clear, so sometimes it's hard to know if it's actually lit or not. Because I had in the SHO, I did kind of like have a makeshift straight methanol injection system that had a nozzle right before the inlet on the throttle body and spray it in. And I was running VP Racing M1. All right, man, take it easy. Like I said, I got a video tonight on the car, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. Video keeps freezing on me. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what to do to help that. Like, I got full bars of 4G, so it just must be a YouTube thing. It's why I don't like doing live stream stuff, because it gets a little, you never know. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, water meth or water water eth or ethanol injection. That's probably what I'm gonna do, and just have it like a full-time setup, because that way I know there will be, additional fuel entering in. There's not going to be, I'm not going to be reliant solely on the DI setup, direct injection setup. And it helps cool the intake air, the intake charge. So, sorry, live stream isn't working. It's all right, bro. I gotta get better at this anyway. So it was kind of like a spare the moment thing to even do a live stream. I'll do more, maybe. I guess it's a good thing. I'll throw a poll out there on the channel and see if people want to do more live stream convos. But it's all right, man. I'll probably be wrapping up this here in a few minutes anyway. So what the hell? I keep getting sidetracked. Yeah. Water, ethanol to help suppress detonation. Everything is to help keep detonation, because eventually when I do up the boost, like right now, what is it? Right now it's only whatever it is stock, it's pushing 22, 23, 24 maybe pounds of boost, and it spikes like 25 or so. If you load it up really good, it spikes a little bit higher, and it runs a little lean, which is the problem, which I need to figure out fueling. That's a tuning issue. When I get to run a tuning, I'll figure that part out with this new combo. But to make the power that I'm looking to make, I'm probably gonna have to run close to 30 pounds of boost. That's a lot. And the stock fuel system definitely ain't there for it. So I either have to run some type of aux fuel, either a full-time aux fuel setup coming off the fuel rail or the fuel line, and run a aux set of injectors, or I'm gonna do the water meth or something. I'm gonna go water meth. It's not as I'm going that route because it's cheaper, and it's a little bit, I wouldn't say easier to tune, but you can get like standalone things. You kind of just have to work on it, kind of have to adjust things with like a progressive controller or something that they come with. You don't have to like mess with actually any other stuff. But I think the aux fuel kits do come with a controller, but still, I think it's a little bit more easier to dial in, and I feel like there's still better benefits of water meth or water ethanol injection over an aux fuel setup. Um, so that's what I'm planning to do there, and so far so good. But that's coming down the road. That will be this year, I'm hoping. Down the road, I'm just trying to keep the damn car running. But you know, piece by piece, we're getting it there. This literally has turned into everything I didn't want it to be. I wanted this car to be mostly stock, a few tasteful bolt-ons with a tune, and just have a nice running car. And that's what I thought this car was going to be. Now it's turned into a full build, highly modified, and we're just going down the rabbit hole now, which is fine, I guess, because it's, you know, I'm learning, and if I'm learning, I'm sharing things, and a lot of other people are learning with me, which is good. And yeah, so, you know, it is what it is. Pros with the cons. So, uh, you know, but it's a slow process because it's my daily. I have to be mindful of what I do. Keep the comedy skits coming there. Dude, I got, you should see, I got a whole, like, what do you call it? A whole, like, thing on my phone, like a memo thing with all these different videos I want to do. Oh, I have some other fun videos to do. You know, some of my goofy, uh, satires type videos. I have a few, don't worry, they're coming. They are. I'm just not focusing on them right now because I'm kind of wanting to do more. You know, I just did the welder one. I know that didn't kind of hit some, you know, a little bit. It's doing okay, but you know, I can't seem to get the success I had with my Lucas video. I got to get a damn beater car so I can start pouring stupid crap in the fuel tank and pissing everyone off. I got to do that, but I got more of those videos coming. Don't you worry. And some of them are really going to make you think. But for now, it's kind of want to focus on like real deal car content, you know, and you know, kind of getting this car squared away and whatnot. But you know, this video you'll see tonight with the new upgrade on everything. Once that video comes out, there's like I need to get a new set of spark plugs in this because I'm still running the stockers. And I want to get another set of the rutheniums and put back in step coulter rutheniums I had. I got to get them and a couple other things, but I'm going to kind of like pause on engine stuff for a little while so I can save up for my tuning, you know, stuff. And so, but there's, like I said, I got some other projects in the background. I'll have more of those funny videos coming and whatnot. It's, you know, it's coming along. It's a slow process, but we're getting there. Hopefully sooner or later this car will be to a point where I feel like it's reliable. It's got good power. Like I ain't trying to make this the fastest car on the road because that's an endless game that I don't want to play. And the EcoBoost is great. And this is actually another video I want to make. The EcoBoost is great to like an extent. Once you get past a certain power point with the 4-cylinder EcoBoost engines, the 2.3 and the 2.0s, you just go past the point of, you know, it's what's the phrase when you know, oh, point of diminishing returns. You know, it just gets insanely expensive. Like once you get past 800 wheel horsepower with these engines, insanely expensive. Reliability is still questionable, and you know, rods, pistons, boosted Coyote will make easily 400 or 500 more horsepower. Okay, no, will easily make 400 more horsepower, 400 more horsepower at the wheels, probably spending almost the same amount of money as once you get up there in the higher levels of the EcoBoost. They're not that cheap because all the things you have to do to fix all the shortcomings of these engines, it doesn't make sense. It really don't. These engines thrive as a nice, high-performance street engine. The moment you try to take it out of high performance to race, that's when it gets stupid. I just got a truck with a GM 4-cylinder turbo. Not bad for the four banger. Oh, the new 2.7 ones? I heard they're actually pretty good. For tuning especially, they actually can get some good power out of them. I was kind of impressed. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I heard some good things about them. I don't know how strong they are compared to like Ford's Turbo 4 offerings, but I heard they're pretty good. And I hear them on the roads a lot. I heard one the other day. It was a Silverado with I know it was that Turbo 4, and it had 310 horsepower out of the box. Yeah, they're not bad. It had a hell of a turbo whistle out of the stock exhaust. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Um, I know it's pretty crazy what they can come out with. But once again, like that engine, when people start messing with them, they might find some, untapped potential. I don't know. I'm sure maybe by now someone's got to be doing something crazy with those. But I'm sure there's going to be some point someone's going to find out that limit, some point where that 2.7 4-cylinder is, up until that point, that's where it's worth it. I got a Colorado, couldn't stand the 4-cylinders. I know everyone ragged on Ford about the V6 EcoBoost in a truck. I can't even imagine a turbo 4 in a truck, let alone a V6, like a turbo 6. So yeah, I don't blame you. I got a Colorado. Eventually I thought about getting, if I ever get to mess with all the cars I want to mess with, I thought about getting a factory 5.3 Colorado to do a build with or something like that. I don't know. I've tinkered around with the idea of doing like a 5.3 Colorado, or I've tinkered around with the idea of doing, because I want to mess with an LS engine at some point. I just got to experience it. I got to do it. Um, I wanted to do a turbo all-wheel drive build at some point, and I was bouncing back and forth on what I wanted to use for that. And I thought maybe, something between an S10, a Ranger, or a Colorado. Either do like a S10 or a Sonoma with a turbo V6, a 3.8 or a 4.3 V6, kind of like a homemade Cyclone, or a Ranger with a 2.3 or something turbo, which would be cool, all-wheel drive, or a Colorado with a 5.3. That would be cool. Or I was even thinking about doing a turbo build either with a Ford 300 straight 6 or a GM 4200 Atlas straight 6. So yeah, I have a lot of ideas, a lot of things I want to do. It just takes that and a lot of time. So when is the oil catch can getting installed? That video is tonight, Chris. Video's coming out tonight. I meant to, or I had that in video set. It was supposed to upload last night. I was supposed to have that uploaded last night. But what happened was my internet speed, the upload speeds go down so much during nighttime. It was unbelievable. It literally took all night. Like, I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had started uploading the video at 6 p.m., which is a lot later. I kind of had a rush to get it done. But 6 p.m. yesterday, and it went all the way until 3 a.m. this morning to upload. It's crazy. So that video is tonight, 6:30, I think I have it set at. So that's coming in. You'll like that video. Completely custom catch can setup, breather setup for the car. I added 2 catch cans to the whole system, and did it pretty cheap. So I'm pretty happy with the outcome. And actually, I noticed on how do I switch my camera here? There we go. I noticed on the vacuum boost gauge that since I've done this, the like under, if I'm just like on decel or very light throttle, the vacuum is actually stronger. It used to sit at 20 or just above, and now it actually sits on the this side of 20, so more vacuum. I've noticed. I think that's more vacuum, right? Yeah. So that's good, I guess. More vacuum's good. I guess getting an extra pressure out of there. It's allowing the ring or the pistons to seal better and whatnot. So, wow, resolution on the other cameras. I don't know. The other camera should have been better because that's the rear camera. Is it really that bad? It maybe just YouTube weird with it switching back and forth. I don't know. The rear camera should be better. This is the front camera. Usually the front cameras are worse. Nope, bad. Oh, I don't know. Nothing I can do. You get the idea. You can still hear me. Front is better. Go figure. I like it. You know, I don't like it from the back. I like it from the front too. Yeah. So, I guess that's good. I guess that's good that it has more vacuum. Like I said, this new setup is definitely a lot different. Like, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but did you see anyone see the EMS? Did you port the catch cans to the intake so there's always vacuum under all RPM? So, I mean, you'll see what I did, but basically I just vented the valve cover to atmosphere. It's going to its own tank. And then I added, so I already have a Mishimoto catch can on the dirty side, I think it's referred to as, you know, the side that comes from the side of the baffle plate. That's going through a Mishimoto catch can. And then I added another Mishimoto style catch can to the other side to intercept the line coming from the back of the valve cover to the turbo. So that's got a catch can now as well. So I don't know if I'm gonna need to upgrade the baffle plate, the PCV plate or whatever baffle to like the radium one. Maybe down the road when I actually do start tuning for higher boost levels, I might want to do. But this is what I'm doing for now, and it seems to have made an improvement. Like I said, I see more vacuum on the gauge where it wasn't up as much. So I'm assuming that's a good thing. But EMS just posted they switched their record car to dry sump, which I thought was interesting because they were blowing out a quart or more of oil every pass. That's how much pressure. I mean, I know they're running like 50 psi a boost, but you know, they were really like, these engines don't seem to have great oil scavenging. You know, they don't seem to do well with that. That's what I was saying is the EcoBoost engines, the 4 cylinders, once you start making them a race engine, no, they do best as decent street engines. You start getting into the race engines, you start trying to make them into race engines, and you start seeing the shortcomings. They're not over-engineered like some of the other options on the market. Like the Honda stuff is just like stupidly over-engineered. That's why they're half as good as they are and whatnot. The EcoBoost stuff, I think up to 800 wheel, call it there, and that's where they're kind of best. I think that's where they shine. You can build a 800 horsepower EcoBoost for under 10 grand, maybe. Yeah, should be able to easily do it under 10 grand if you do the work yourself. Had a 800 horsepower Mustang, and that's if you pick the damn thing up for cheap. Don't buy a brand new Mustang like I did, blow it up, and then spend another 8 grand building the engine, because then I would have just got a GT if I would have known that much. But that's my mistake. Learn from it. Yeah. So, catch can videos tonight, and going forward, I still want to do the video on taking the turbo off and tapping into the housing to test back pressure. Sounds good. I noticed my Volvo Turbo Inline 6.3 ran a lot better after I installed catch can from the oil baffle to the intake on the PCV. Yeah, it really, I mean, it's hard to tell how much of a difference it really made. The only thing I can tell is that I've noticed that the vacuum gauge it's showing more vacuum now, which I can only assume is a good thing. I mean, it seems to run all the same. The main thing I wanted to do was prevent the oil from going into the turbo, because that's what it was doing. It was pressurizing the top so much that all that oil was running through that other breather line that connects to the inlet of the turbo, and it was starting to coat the turbo and everything with oil. And of course, that oil can get into the intake, and then it does everything you don't want it to do. So it was that catch can was for that. I think the biggest difference was venting the top of the valve cover, letting all that pressure vent out to its own tank, which is, venting to atmosphere away from the engine. I think that was what made the biggest difference, because the other, it had to have. That's really the only difference, because the other line is still connected the same way. It's just going to a catch can now first. Oh, excuse me. Before going back to the turbo. So really all I did was just vent the top of the valve cover. And under normal driving, it seems to make a hell of a lot of more difference, at least from what I can perceive on the gauge. So, yeah. And like I said, I'm all about doing things myself. I'm all about making my own stuff. You'll see that in tonight's video. I didn't reinvent the wheel here, so don't get too excited. But, sorry, someone calling in. But it should be good, like, to be able to share what I've learned in that and whatnot. Smoother power and idle. I have noticed that. Yeah, the power is a little bit smoother, perhaps. It's not as yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it would be smoother power. Or it feels more like, it doesn't feel like it takes as much effort to get the power. I don't know if that makes any sense. Now that you've mentioned it, but I've only been driving around. This is only like, I've literally finished the car up yesterday with that whole project. So this is only like my second day of driving the car around with the new setup. So it's and and I think it actually does idle just a little bit lower, just a little, not that much, but does idle nice. I can't, like, once I get a new fresh set of plugs in, this thing should idle like butter. It idles pretty good as it is. I think there's a couple misfires, especially on a cold startup, but I think that's because there's a lot of E85 in the tank, and these are the original spark plugs that have probably 30 or so thousand miles on them now. I just keep them as a backup because I seem to go through spark plugs like crazy. And yeah. So that's coming out. What do you think? More live streams? Better formulated, I guess. Because I've been watching a lot of Alejandro Flores. I don't know if anyone else watches him. He's a goof. He really is, but he offers some good insight. He's a little on the edgier side. I'm not I'm not like that so much. I'm a little bit more held back, more restrained than he is. I like watching him, but I've been watching a lot of his stuff lately, and I just like the interaction he gets with his followers and whatnot. But I don't want to build a community that is so edgy. I'm fun. I want to have fun. I don't care what it is. I just want to have fun. I don't want to talk shit. I don't want to tell anyone how stupid they are. If I have to, I will, but I haven't seen him. Yeah, he's actually a guy down here in Florida too. He works for Lund. He's a tuner for Lund, and he builds his own stuff. He's had his own run-in lately with some incompetent businesses when it comes to performance shops. He apparently spent a whole lot of money on a built engine, a 5.8 Trinity motor for his GT500, and he's discovered a whole crap load of problems that he claims it's all the engine builder not doing things right. And and going all the crap that I've seen and been through and whatnot, the incompetence in this world in general is just amazing. But especially all these stupid shops near Orlando. I'm on the east side. Well, no, not Orlando. I think he's in West Palm Beach. I mean, you're closer to him than I am. If you're on the east side of Orlando, you're probably on like within an hour or so. He's in West Palm Beach. Alejandro Flores. Look him up. You'll see him. He used to go by Yellow Douchebag. He used to be a satire channel. Literally used to make fun of people. He would do stuff like this, and mock people with their cars. He would go, stupid, I'm a Mustang guy. Oh, he used to do stuff like that. And that's when I started watching them. And then I realized, oh crap, he actually knows some things. And he started making more like informal content. Oh, I meant you. Oh, no, I'm not in Orlando. No. I'm up towards Ocala. I'm in Orlando a lot, but no, I don't live in Orlando. I'm up towards Ocala, between Ocala and the Villages. So I get to deal with all the nice old people. Chris Sullivan is a good one to watch, currently building a Cobra. Yeah, I think I've seen some of his stuff. There's so many YouTubers. I mean, I basically spend most of my time watching Cletus. Literally, Cletus has been the biggest influence for me to even. First of all, he was an influence for me to like literally come down to Florida and try my luck with being a car YouTuber in Florida. It kind of seems Florida just seems like the best place to be if you're a car YouTuber and horse country. Yes, it is. Ocala is horse. Well, no, it's not just Ocala, but yeah, or the Ocala is definitely horse country. There's a lot of horses, which is good because I like horses more than people. So I'm cool with that. Um, it's nice up here. Like Ocala is, it's got its rough spots. I'm from Baltimore, so it don't hold a candle to what I'm used to seeing. It's got its rough spots. So does every area, but as a whole, Ocala is not too bad. I'm a little bit away from Ocala, and Bellevue. So, like I said, I'm literally between Ocala and the Villages. I'm right there in the middle, and that's where I'm currently at. Kind of, my father-in-law's in Ocala. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean Ocala's all right. I don't mind it. It's getting. The problem is they're building houses left and right here. Like I'm glad I got into real estate when I did. But the annoying part is because there is this real estate boom in Florida, subdivisions are going up everywhere. Farmland's getting sold because farmland now is worth so much that farmers have literally bought their land 40 freaking years ago or longer. It's been owned by family generations, and they bought it for peanuts, and now it's worth $10,000-$15,000 or more depending on where it is per acre. These big developments are coming in. These farmers they're subdividing their land or selling it all together for millions. These subdivisions are coming in, building up all over the place. It's getting crazy. I wanted to come to Ocala because it was more rural. It wasn't as congested. Now I'm living in the country with the congestion, and I don't have any of the fun stuff that you'd find in like Orlando or any other developed area. So it kind of sucks, but it's still nice. It's still better than where I came from, so I can't complain. So, but just in general though, Florida for a car guy is, I mean, I haven't been to many other states. I haven't lived in any other state but Maryland, and now Florida. Sounds like Kissimmee, Poinciana. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, 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 no. Those areas are definitely worse. But it's getting there. It will be there at some point. Actually, my neighbors came from Poinciana, and they were not happy. Let's see, Alex K, Rolling Hills, Ocala, 30 G's an acre where I live. Yeah, well, it depends. Yeah, exactly. Wherever the area is, if it's in a more desirable area, if it's closer to certain amenities, that it's going to be more per acre. If you're further out, you're going to get lower price per acre. But $30,000 per acre. Just imagine they probably paid nothing. They probably paid less than $100 an acre when that land was originally purchased. Oh my God, it's nuts. It really is. I can't even imagine. Like, I mean, I guess if I had if I had tens of acres or hundreds of acres of farmland, I probably would, subdivide part of that and sell it off too. Vlad, what's up, my guy? How's everything going? I thought I was gonna maybe see you when I was up in Maryland, but I left I left the Friday before the next Hunt Valley Cars and Coffee. I left that Friday night or Friday morning. So I wasn't going to be up there. I was hoping to be there for that Cars and Coffee, but because I was going to see if you wanted to meet up. I wasn't there though. I don't know if you ran into Troy or not. I finally got to ride in his dang Maserati. Oh my god, dude. That thing is actually pretty nice. I've never been in a Maserati. That thing's pretty sweet. But yeah, I don't know. My friend bought a damn Maserati. Thinks he's all hot shit because he's hanging out with all these guys with these high end cars and stuff, and it kind of rubbed off on him. And he got a really nice, pretty clean 2009 Maserati. Was it the Gran Turismo or whatever, the coupe? And he's got like it's a rare one because it has the F1 transmission, which was apparently 2009 was the only year you could get it or something. It was, I guess, like all the damn leftover F1 transmissions from the Ferraris, and Maserati put them in those cars. It was nice though. It sounded so good. I didn't realize they sounded so good. The 4.7 Maserati V8. Oh my god, it sounded really similar to the Ford 4.6. Believe it or not, because he has a bunch of Mark 8s. Kind of what got me into my Cobra. And the interior sound of the Mark 8 was similar to the interior sound of the Maserati. Alex K, we're 10 minutes from the Springs, way better in central New Jersey, where I lived for 43 years. Oh, because central New Jersey is just mostly farms. Like, that's what this area was here not long ago. Like, what, 2-3 years ago? It was more or less the same. Now you have to go out like 15-20 minutes. I got 10 minutes from the Springs. Silver Springs? Is that what you're talking about? I didn't realize you were that close. Troy definitely got a clean example. Yeah, he did. I mean, it's got a couple blemishes, but that thing is nice. And he told me, I was surprised he only paid what he did for it. I was like, damn, dude. No wonder. I'm like, good for you. The Maserati's nice. It ain't my thing. It ain't my thing. I wouldn't want to I don't want to have to do the maintenance on that. Like he told me the clutch, to replace the clutch on that thing is like upwards of $10,000. I can't stomach that. I'm sorry. I can't even stomach putting 5-6 grand into a new engine in this car. And you think I want to spend 10 grand on a clutch replacement for that? Fudge no. Good for him though. I'm glad he's happy. Let's see, Maserati Quattroporte's exhaust frequency is 333 hertz, a frequency purported to stimulate sexual arousal in women. It was stimulating sexual arousal in me, let alone women. I mean, that thing sounded sweet, and it was, as far as anyone knows, it was a factory exhaust. It had had valves in it. It was a valve exhaust, but when he put it in sport mode and the valves were opened up, oh sweet baby Jesus. That thing sounded good. No, Central New Jersey's Woodbridge, Sayville, way more. Oh, you're saying it's more congested. Oh, hold on. Let me go back. What were you saying? I think I got mixed up on what you were saying. We're 10 minutes from Springs. Oh, and dang it. Sorry, people keep calling in. Springs is way better than New Jersey. But like I said, are you talking about Silver Springs? Is that what you're talking about? And there's just crap ton of springs here in Florida, so you gotta be more specific. I didn't realize I had followers that close. I need to start meeting up with more people. I don't have anyone down here. I need to start making more connections. Oh man. Yeah, so I don't know. What the hell time is it? I don't even know what time it is. 2:37? Dang. I've been doing this 45 minutes almost. It was a lot more. I thought I'd only be doing this live stream for 20 minutes, but here we are 45 minutes into it. How many HPPs have you seen in Florida? I've only seen a few others in Maryland. Oh, Rainbow Springs. Okay, that's still not that far away. You're not that far away from me. About 30, 40-ish minutes. over towards what Denellen and all that over there, Hernando, whatever. I haven't seen. Yes, I have. I have seen more HPPs. I have seen more in Florida than I have in other places. I haven't seen any recently though. There were a few, and they were all driven by old people. There was like this really nice horse farms. Yep, there was this really nice. I don't know what the exact color was. You know, like that dark metallic red. It was HPP convertible. I'm sure this thing was a premium. Loaded to the hills, old lady, probably in her 70s, you know, driving it along like this. I'm like, ah. And then there was this nice black, you know, probably black premium HPP, leather, all that good stuff. Older man, but he actually, you know, would get on it a little bit. And, you know, haven't really seen too many since then. They're few and far between. You know how these cars are. They're not everywhere. When you see one, you're kind of like, "Oh, holy shit." You know, but no, it's mostly GTs you see. Mostly. I mean, just now I'm not saying there are actually a couple seems to be built up EcoBoost Mustangs in this area. They're just not HPPs. They're you know, just your maybe performance pack, you know, versions, but not HPP specifically. And some of them are a little bit older, like the 15 through 17s. Let's see. Ty Banks have 17 EcoBoost, looking to make a lot more power than the tune I already have. What's a good estimated price to upgrade the internal so I don't go? Eh. Okay, it depends which way you want to go about it. Um, like for me, mainly, if I could have salvaged the block, like if that piston didn't screw up my old block, I probably would have reused it, honestly. I only went to the 2.0 block mainly because the old engine screwed itself up so bad it was beyond repair. Or it was beyond repair to a point where it made sense. It would have, cost way too much to repair that when I could have just got a fresh new short block, which is what I did. Depends how much power you're looking to make. I mean, if you are looking to be around 500 wheel, I think it's so fine to go with like an open deck 2.3 block. Just, probably best with good rod, set of good rods. The cranks are fine, just, they got to be balanced, and pistons. But the 2.3 block is fine for that amount of power. I mean, really, see, there's so many unknowns about the 2.3 block because, the people who blow them up. See, and there's a difference. What I've realized is there's a Gen 1 EcoBoost rod, connecting rod, and there's Gen 2. The HPP cars had Gen 2. And that's why when I pulled my old engine apart, the middle two rods that were in the damaged cylinders, they didn't break. They just bent. And that's good. I'd rather have a rod bend than break because what happens is the Gen 1 rods, they would break and, they would be in half and then you just got this piece. It just is just constantly going around whapping the side of the cylinder and eventually the rod just breaks through. Oh my God, people stop calling me. The rod just breaks through the side of the block because it's thin material, and then you have a window inside your block. That's what happens with those. But the Gen 2 rods hold a lot more power, it seems. So you could probably get away with Gen 2 rods if you're being under 500 wheel. Over 500 wheel, I would go with a better, like a H-beam or higher end I-beam rod, forged I-beam rod, and a decent piston. I don't think the 2.0 block is necessary unless you're over 600 wheel and want to be sure. Just from all what I gather. See, what a lot of people don't talk about, and this is something I want to maybe explore in a future build with the EcoBoost platform, if I stay with this, is the fact that the rod ratio on the factory, or the factory rod ratio on these EcoBoost engines is really bad. The rod to stroke ratio. The rods are actually really short, and they should be longer because it puts an excessive amount of loading on the cylinder wall. And I've actually taken notice of this when I tore down the old engine. You could see on one side of the bore where it had more wear than the other side, and that's the side the piston's loading on when it's reciprocating, when it's doing that. and it's mainly because of the rod ratio. There's only one company that I know of that makes longer rods for these engines without having to go and have someone make it custom, and that's Esslinger or Esslinger, however you say it. They make a long rod to combat exactly that problem. So, but I don't see anyone using them. All the engine builders that are building these engines, they go with the will you upload this after the stream ends? It should automatically upload. So if you want to catch it after that, yeah, you should be able to see it. It should just set to be like a normal video after I'm done streaming. But all the engine builders who are building these high-end, high horsepower engines, they're only going after a very strong rod, but they're keeping the factory rod length. They're not going to a longer rod, and especially if you're spinning more RPM, you want a longer rod. Like that is the recipe. You want short stroke, big bore, long rod. Recipe for power and reliable power. You might not get as much torque, but when your goal is lots of high-end power out of these engines, that's what you want. And as far as I know, no one uses the Esslinger rods, and it makes sense. And they reduce that side loading on the bore. So that's like a problem I noticed with the EcoBoost. And one day I want to revisit that. I want to buy a set of those Esslinger rods, and I want to put it in the EcoBoost and see the difference it makes. But I also want to do something crazy. No one messes with the 2.5 block either. And the 2.5 block is basically a factory overboard 2.0 block. It's still a semi-closed deck, and I'm pretty sure it's all the parts are same. They're interchangeable the same way. The 2.5, the 2.0, and the 2.3. Now 2.5 was never a turbo engine from Ford. It only stayed naturally aspirated, but I still think the parts are interchangeable. And theoretically, you could take a 2.5 block, you take a 2.3 crank, you take those long ratio, and I think the long ratio rods are actually, because the difference with the 2.5 block, I have a slightly higher deck height over the 2.0 and 2.3 blocks. So you do naturally need a longer rod. I'm not really sure how long they are, but I think the Esslingers are very close to there's, obviously that's a build for a whole nother day. But I thought about it. Yeah, and trying to find a way to get away from the head-of-fold cylinder heads that we're stuck with on the 2.0 and the 2.3s. Switching back to, I don't know how good a 2.5 cylinder head is, flow-wise, compared to the 2.3 and 2.0 head-of-fold. I don't know if it's any better or worse, but, these EcoBoost engines stem from Mazda. And the original Mazda 2.3 turbo and the Mazda Speed 3, had a multi-port exhaust head with a turbo manifold. So, that's one of the biggest problems with these head-of-fold designs, and I think it's a limiting factor, not in terms of power, but reliability as well. Because, I think they limit the flow, but I think they also create more back pressure. I think there's a lot of problems with that setup, especially when you really start getting to more RPM or more power. That's why I said you start pushing these EcoBoosts past a certain power point, and you have to overcome so many challenges because the engine is not designed to do that. And there's so much. You guys don't even know how much I've looked into this from this whole experience on how to rebuild this engine. And I don't share so much. I don't share too much of these ideas with everyone. I do every now and again, and a lot of times I'll just make a specific video for whatever specific thought it was that I had. But I don't ever really share them kind of like this. That's why I need to start doing more live streams or something, just to get my thoughts out there. Yeah. So... But I think I'm going to start wrapping it up here because I'm approaching an hour almost. That's crazy. An hour you're listening to me. Good Lord. How do you people do it? And like I said, the The new video is out tonight on the custom breather setup for the car, and I'm not sure what the next thing will be. Have to wait and see. So, but I think for that, I'm gonna log off here. I'm gonna go and do something else for the day. I gotta get something else done, be a little bit more productive, and yeah. So, I'm gonna put a poll out for see how many people want to kind of keep up with these live streams, and then maybe I'll start doing them more and talking, and maybe like more structured conversations about specific things, because right now it's just whatever's on my mind, and it can go any which way. It really can. And yeah. So yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for sticking around with my crazy ass. You as well. I can't even talk right now. Same to you, man. Later. All right, guys. I'm logging off. Um, Make sure to keep a lookout for that video. 6:30 tonight should be uploading, and let me know what you think. Catch y'all later.